So what?
My patriotism, you see, I very carefully worded my statements. Unwarranted patriotism.
Unwarranted? Yes. Well, why is it so unwarranted to be patriotic about living in the USA?
Do you want an answer?
I do, please. That's right.
Sorry, I thought that was a rhetorical question.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Well, there's lots of them.
Go to the aside.
We all know that the more of something there is, the less value it has.
Oh.
Do you consider Cadbury's cream eggs to be of less value than a Fabergé egg?
No,
of course you do, because there are millions and millions of Cadbury's cream eggs, and there are barely a handful of Fabergé eggs in existence.
If I didn't think you were taking the mickey, Shittlebob, I'd tell you to shut up. You blinding idiot. So, given that argument, you would say, oh, man, it's nation. The people of Costa Rica are more entitled to be patriotic than the people of the United States. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, back to Captain America. Can we get back to the film, because you're driving me insane?
Okay. What a big problem I had with it was the fact that the Nazis were used in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I'm concerned, the Nazis should never be used in movies.
Because?
Well, we should ignore that period of history altogether and never speak of it again.
I can't help but ask you why you have that opinion, Richard.
It was such an awful time for humanity. The only way to learn from it is to ignore it at all costs.
Just pretend it never happened.
That is the only way to make progress.
Would you consider yourself a Holocaust denier, Mr. Shittlebob?
It is not possible to deny something that never took place.
We're trying to get ourselves some listeners, not lose every single one of them, Richard.
I retract my previous statements. I am not, despite Nathaniel's insinuations, I am not a Holocaust denier.
There you go, you heard it yourself.
Thank you.
Forgive him, listeners, he tries to be controversial sometimes. He doesn't mean everything he says, you know.
What did you think of it, Nathaniel? You've listened to my outpourings. You haven't really said much yourself, apart from mock me.
Yeah, I can't help myself sometimes. Apologies for that. Similar sort of feeling about it, really, which is probably perhaps more intense feelings, if anything. To be honest, I'd rather watch my leg hair grow for a couple of hours than watch that piece of nonsense. I didn't.
You're not the only one.
The only interesting part of the film, which they never really expanded upon, was the whole Nazi esoterica thing. I know you said you didn't want any reference to the Nazi, any kind of Nazism in any kind of film, but for me personally, I found that quite interesting. You got this German scientist who seems to get hold of some kind of some nature that exists within the earth, and he makes it into some kind of serum, but it's all left very kind of vague and undefined. It was just kind of, there it is. Don't explain what it is or how it came about. It just exists, and that was the only possibly interesting part of the film for me. So they didn't.
And then it wasn't really expanded.
It wasn't expanded upon. It was kind of investigated or taken anywhere. It just was. That's how it is. There it is. Get on with it. And then kind of the next thing, which I found really troubling, was I am going to use that skinny little kid. He takes a serum to get athletic and muscly.
That's yes.
Kind of banging the steroid drum in what
absolutely.
So obviously it's a superhero film. You've got kids going to watch it. Do you want them to get that kind of message? All the skinny kids in the audience thinking, well, maybe I can get hold of some special serum to make me athletic and muscly. Completely the wrong message to give kind of younger people.
And to doubly confound that, the fact that he wasn't even skinny to begin with.
Well,
So people, normal people, are going to be sitting, watching that screen, looking at this guy that they keep on referring to as skinny, as a weakling, as puny. They keep on talking about him as if he's absolutely inferior, but he's just a normal guy. So people are going to be looking at that screen thinking, well, that's just like me. I'm pathetic.
I think we could take. I think if you did kind of a survey of opinion on that matter issue, I think you'd find that 75 to 80% of people would say that fella is underweight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'd have to disagree on that. I think people would consider him to be thin and skinny, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
Well,
it's just the way it was. I don't think there was anything to get uptight about. Put it that way.
I just think it reinforces your belief, the point that you're making, that regular looking guys are going to look at that and they're going to think, well, the only way that I can become, I'm going to use the word again, as buff as Chris Evans.
Oh, I like that.
You like it when I say that?
I like that very much.
The only way I can become as buff as Chris Evans is by taking some form of performance-enhancing drug.
Absolutely, which is completely the wrong message.
It is the wrong message.
Get down the gym and do something about it. Put the hard work in if you want to get yourself more buff.
Get off your fat arse.
Absolutely. Go, Richard.
I don't like swearing, but sometimes it's a necessary evil.
Absolutely. Tell people as it is sometimes. Truth hurts, but that's what needs to be done on occasion.
That's another reason America's got no right for patriotism. The number of fat bastards.
They're too fat to be patriotic. Oh, you're absolutely right. I can't disagree with you. Anybody who's mildly overweight, forget any national pride. Get yourself down the gym, and then you can buy yourself a flag.
You're quite right.
But yeah, from then on, to kind of say, you got the skinny kid, takes his serum, he's become this handsome kind of cut man, a superhero nonetheless. And from then on, the film is just a series of explosions and dumbass fight scenes. It just brought me to tears.
It did get tedious,
didn't it?
Oh, the last half an hour.
Man alive. I was tempted to leave, but dare I say, I'll try and be professional and stay on. So I stayed with the film till the end. Well,
that's certainly a step in the right direction for you, Nathaniel. So.
Well, yeah, one step at a time. Research next. Professionalism.
Yeah, absolutely. So clearly, neither of us particularly enjoyed this film.
Clearly.
So what would your rating be?
3 out of 10.
How many?
3.
3 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I didn't dislike it quite as much as you, apparently, because I'm prepared to give it a 5 out of 10. But not very good. Okay, this is the part of the show where we delve back into the movie archives and discuss a movie from any time in the last 50 years. This week we're going to talk about French movie Amélie. Just a bit of background on the story. Amélie is a single woman, innocent, seemingly vulnerable. She works in a cafe bistro diner type place, but she has her own curious sense of morality and embarks on a crusade to put other people's lives to rights. From a bullied employee to a pair of lovesick friends, she sets the balance of their lives straight and, along the way, tries to come to understand herself a little bit more. What do you think of it, Nathaniel?
Thoroughly enjoyed it, Richard. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Proper film. Fantastic movie. What is there not to like and appreciate and learn from in that movie?
What did you like in particular?
Well, the first...
Let's drill down to some...
The first
some actual points, rather than just your vague blather.
For me to get past vague blather, you need to allow me to speak, Richard, so you can get to there first. It's fantastically French, isn't it? the whole film reeks of joie de vivre and vavavoom, doesn't it? It's just archetypically French, and I like that about it because it's arty, it's intellectual, it's kind of offbeat. Again, I think Amelie is an example to us all. You know, don't blame your parents or your upbringing for any kind of negative traits in the situations that you want changed in your life. Go and do something about them, which is what Amelie does. I think she teaches us to kind of follow our hearts, keep a sense of life, enjoy and appreciate the small and beautiful things. I particularly like the things in the movie when she really gets enthused about skimming stones in the river, getting in touch with her inner child and stuff like that. I thought that was a really beautiful message. I mean, the paradoxical thing about it is that in essence, it's a rom-com, isn't it? It's a romantic comedy.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a mix of a romantic comedy and a modern fairy tale.
Yeah, that's very common. And, given the kind of nature of the film, I was expecting some kind of twist, but surprisingly, I was very, very pleased there wasn't any kind of twist.
Don't give too much away, we don't
want
to spoilers.
Yeah, you're right. I don't want to ruin the experience for anybody who's going to go out and watch it, but I probably already have. Right. So yeah, I'll finish my comments there really. It was fantastically arty, fantastically French, not completely unique, but very unique, and I'd recommend it to absolutely anyone. Yourself?
Well, I mean, it comes as no surprise that somebody like you would enjoy this. I've got a few problems with it.
Go on.
Firstly, it's French.
Didn't expect that one, listeners, did we? No. Okay, it's French, yeah, and?
Well, does anything more need to be said about that?
I think it probably does, yeah.
It drips with arrogance. You said that the all-pervading stench of joie de vivre was there. Well, I did detect a stench.
I didn't think I used the word all-pervading stench, but go on.
You listen back afterwards, Nathaniel. You'll find that I am quoting you verbatim.
As always, you're the all-exuding authority. I don't doubt you for a moment. Go, carry on.
The all-pervading stench of joie de vivre. There certainly was a stench, but it wasn't that. Everybody sitting around, not really doing anything, getting nothing done.